Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm taking you behind the scenes of my DJ sets in Natural Vine. These are DJ sets performed in unique locations, out of reach for ordinary mortals, and above all, far from any electrical outlets. I'll leave the playlist with all the DJ sets I've recorded down below in the description, and I'll see you in. Intro. Do people still say intro? Welcome back to Nuelsoon's channel. Today we're talking about this thing right here, and I'd say we can get started right away by talking about energy, specifically where the electricity that powers my entire setup comes from. If it comes from her, I'm not going to take it out or show you too much of this battery because I've already made a dedicated video about the EcoFlow Rider 2, which you can find on my channel. This Eco Power Station is a portable camping battery, and in my case, I use it to power my entire setup. And besides the battery itself, I also travel with its 110-watt solar panel. But you'll find everything in the dedicated video because what's important for today is that you know this is nothing less than the beating heart of everything that gives you power. All things considered, with the solar panel and a nice sunny day, I can easily keep playing endlessly, just keep playing. Then if I also need to record a DJ set, in that case, I end up using up a few more hours since I also have to power the computer, the cameras, the various lights I bring with me, and so on. Additionally, I'd like to point out here on my left the other speaker that accompanies my DJ sets, which allows me to hear what I'm doing, but at the same time also lets my friends or anyone keeping me company at that moment listen to the DJ set. Basically, during barbecues, during the days I spend by the river. Anyway, go check out my DJ set on the Natural DJ Set Vibes playlist, motherfucker. I wanted to talk to you about this speaker right away for a simple reason. It runs on 220 volts, as we can see here from this plug. This speaker operates on 220. As a result, I physically connect it to the power strip, which in turn is connected to my portable battery. But this is something that makes us lose a bit of efficiency. Why? Many times, I often end up using this setup here as well, which is still under construction. In fact, it's a bit cobbled together like this, but it's a setup with a small subwoofer and two left-right satellites. It is powered by this board here, and this board operates at 12 volts. What does this mean? It means I go directly from my power station using its cigarette lighter socket like the one in a car, so at 12 volts, and connect it to my amplifier. This way, I avoid losses due to the inverter's efficiency. This way, first of all, this amplifier board definitely consumes less than the 80-watt monitor. And in addition to that, we also save on the overall efficiency that the battery's built-in inverter has to support, since it basically only needs to power the console and PC. And on days like this, possibly some lights as well. If the EcoFlow Driver 2 doesn't work for you, there are much bigger alternatives out there. Go check out the video dedicated to this battery. Anyway, I can easily get 2 hours of use with everything connected. Let's move on and talk about the audio setup. As I mentioned earlier, we have two main outputs from this console, actually three, my Pioneer RX3, my Pioneer XDJ RX3. You'll also find a full half-hour review video of it on the channel, so go look for it in the J Things playlist. So, with this console, I'm lucky enough to have two master outputs. As a result, I use one to connect to the monitor so I can listen to what I'm doing live, while the second master output goes to the Behringer audio interface. In this case, the UMC22 is really cheap. It costs about 50 euros, basically nothing, but it works great, does its job, and right now I'm using it to record the microphones. Let's say it's an excellent audio interface, it costs next to nothing, and it's a good compromise. And I connect this audio interface to my PC. My PC will literally be the control center for the entire DJ set, because in addition to connecting the audio interface, and thus recording the audio from my RX3, I also connect the three cameras to it, which will automatically switch between each other, thanks to a small Python bot that I'll show you later when we talk about the video side of things. This way, I record both audio and video together in OBS, and in the end, I don't have to do any kind of post-adjustment in editing. I record my hour, take it, and upload it to YouTube just as it is, already perfect and clean. Speaking of pre-listening, because on a DJ console we also have pre-listening, let me show you my headphones, which are the AIE AITMA 2 DJ. We also have a video about them on the channel, again in the J Things playlist. If you're interested in these headphones, which I have to say are really good, go check out the video, watch it, and let me know what you think. At this point, let's introduce the video side of things. How do I record the video? For the entire duration of my DJ set, which usually lasts about an hour, there are these three cameras that switch between each other, okay? I'll show them to you right now. There are 3 webcams, the same ones that are recording this video right now. They're Creative Live Cam 2K, and I have to say that even though they're small with a tiny sensor, as long as there's at least some light, or better yet, good lighting, they work really well. And the cool thing about them being webcams is that I can connect all 3 to my PC. Now I'll show you what I do. And thanks to this setup and a little bot that I'll show you in a moment, I can record the entire DJ set live without having to mess around in editing later, syncing cameras, audio, or making cuts from one camera to another. Everything's already good to go. Let me show you. Let's move over to the PC. This is the powerful program I am currently using right now. In fact, if I carefully switch between cameras, let's thoughtfully go back here to the exact spot where we were previously, I will certainly show you the detailed PC screen, and most importantly, I will immediately show you right away the clever little bot I personally use to automatically switch between my various cameras. But I have simply called it the OBS bot, and here it is, clearly visible. And the first thing my OBS bot does is ask me for the time values in seconds between one camera and the next. For example, I can set the first switch to 6 seconds, the second to 8, the next to 10, and then we can do, for instance, 16, 18, and 20. At this point, what does it do? When I press start, it will switch the cameras for me. I press start, it detects camera 1, and there you go, it automatically switches to camera 1. Then, after a set number of seconds, it switches to camera 2, which at the moment is not connected. We wait for the number of seconds we set earlier, and here we are on camera 3, and so on and so on and so on. And it does it automatically. This is a very simple bot, and now I'll show you a screenshot of the code. I'll put it up here as an overlay and stop the program. Basically, let's get back to us. Placing the camera here in front, which is this one, yes, this one. I want to wrap up this video by also talking about portability, because I do need, for example, tripods, or in this case, I'm using this small rig you see here. I'll leave the link in the description, and this is the small rig for the camera that's in front of the console and frames my face. It's a really cool shot. Then, for example, I use simple tripods like this one, both for the lights and for the other 2 cameras, placed around depending on where I am. Each location has its own spots. I never really have a fixed setup, let's say. To support the console, I use this simple X-shaped tripod, which is basically one of those stands you would use for keyboards, for example. In this case, I use it to support my Pioneer XDJ RX3 inside its original Pioneer play case. A cool thing I did with this, so I could mount the monitor, and you'll notice this in the videos of my DJ sets, is this little gadget, this accessory, which I 3D printed. Let me show you right away. You mount this thing right here in front, for example, and with this little tab and this small spacer at the end, it locks into the profile of our case. Once it's mounted, you can snap this component on top of it. This component is nothing more than a modular stand holder, for which you can also find a video on the channel. And in that video's description, you'll find the link to download the files and 3D print your own stand, and so on. Anyway, until just a little while ago, I simply rested the monitor here to my left on this, and now I'm going to snap it onto this other adapter. And then I'll put the monitor on top of this. It's a very simple thing that keeps my setup tidy, and above all, directs the speakers right to my ears where I need them. If you don't have a 3D printer, you'll also find on this channel a very dedicated, very cool, and very short video about a super affordable 3D printer that works amazingly well, the FlashForge 5M. To wrap up, something that will never be missing and never again will be missing from my outdoor setups are simple USB extension cables. Make sure they are good quality and no longer than 5 meters, because beyond 5 meters the signal can have issues. These extension cables allow me to film from much farther angles compared to the standard cable that comes with our webcams, which is about 1.5 meters long. Anyway, you'll find the link in the description below for each of these things I mentioned. I don't recommend using a USB hub, even if it's externally powered, for the cameras, just to be safe. It's better if you have 3 or even better 4 available USB ports on your PC to connect the cameras directly there. 4 ports because you'll need 3 for the cameras and 1 for the audio interface. A small downside when it comes to audio recording. One thing you can do to save a USB port is, in my particular case, or rather in the case of the Pioneer XDJ RX3, to record the audio coming out of the master also through the USB 2.0 port. Obviously, this means I would have to do some editing and post-production to sync the cameras and audio, but all things considered, I prefer to have the port free because if I want to do a back-to-back set with a friend, at least we have 2 USB ports available. Let's make some brief final considerations about this setup, saying that the advantages of this system are, first, that we are completely off-grid and can play anywhere as long as we're close to the car, because carrying all this gear around on foot isn't exactly convenient. No editing is required after recording the video, as we mentioned earlier, and this saves us a lot of time. We have extremely high audio and video quality, almost on a professional level and so on, without having to spend thousands of euros on equipment. And finally, this is a very practical setup, even for doing a back-to-back with a friend, thanks to the fact that we have both USB ports free. Well, gentlemen, that said, I'd say you can subscribe to the channel and we'll see you in the next video. See you soon, brother. See you again.